Welcome to Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sports.
You're like a circle that floats around me.
In here, you all in the comments, let me know what you all think. Poke some holes, right? Lord, guys, he's much. Guys, thanks for watching. Lord. All right, time to go. Please tell the people the team that you back to, please.
Well, I can show you. That one right there.
God. I'm gonna edit that out in post, right?
Welcome to the Fantasy Pavilion. We go live in 10. Number 9.
8. Yo! 7.
Number 6.
5.
Entry.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Fantasy Pavilion, your home for fantasy sport, and we are back again with another preview of Game Week 31, and I'm joined by one of the usual crew members, Aaron, and no stranger to the show, friend of the Fantasy Pavilion, IBK, of the FPL Sandwich Podcast. IBK, welcome.
Welcome everyone. How are you doing? Let's go.
Let's go. What's the vibes? How things, mate? How you going?
I'm good, man. I'm good. March lasted for a minute, but you know what? Let's get slapped into April. You get me?
Yeah, man.
Let's get it. How are you, man? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Can't complain. Did some F1 content today, so now doing some. It is grinding. It is IBK. The grind of us.
Yeah, it's the grind of the season, man. Get me?
Yeah.
I saw your show with Dan Bennett. It was really good, man. I really enjoyed
thanks,
it.
man. Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate that. Of course, yeah. Shout out Dan. Always has time for us, for sure. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And of course, big up Net, that whole crew who also came on and did some international great specials with us as well. Yeah, man.
Great show.
Right. And of course, please, I already plugged in all his credentials, his Twitter and the YouTube handle. Check out the FPL Sandwich. Great shows as always with FPL Llama and others, right? And always a good conversation. So please,
leave a like,
let's help
guys,
each
and
other out.
subscribe.
Let's build a community, right? Go like all his videos and subscribe and share. Let's go. So, of course, we have Game Week 31 coming up. We have some crazy doubles coming up, but we just focus on 31 alone. We're not talking about anything else. Let's get straight into the fun. And of course, we are faced with a dilemma. Some of us, Aaron and IBK. I have no dilemma because I've set up my mind. Are we bringing back Salah for what?
Why Salah was out the team though?
Well, some people don't have Salah. Some people sold him to
I don't have Salah.
Thank you, IBK.
Well,
right?
You need Liverpool cover for this Watford game because Liverpool does always touch up Watford.
Why that cover can't be just a double up of Trent and Robertson or a Jota?
Trent in shorter play.
Fair enough. True. That is a good reminder.
So you don't need to bring in Salah. Just make sure you have Liverpool cover. That's why I was saying.
And now
say the same.
But do you think he should be back in time?
Yeah, they will play.
Yeah.
They will play. Salah will play for sure because he had to run out of frustration and now making the World Cup.
Yeah. Double time now that Mane has dumped him out of something again.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So as you know, we like to run through the matches real quickly and give some key assets. So Liverpool, Watford. So who's the key asset for Liverpool? Key asset for Watford?
Liverpool, Salah, Jota.
Okay.
Robertson, because Trent not too sure. So you could always go Robertson if you want to sell Trent and get more Liverpool cover any back.
Yes, solid.
Watford.
Watford. Who looking at IBK? If you had to gun to your head, you had to pick a Watford asset.
Dennis.
All right.
Or Ismail Assar. I think Ismail Assar could be a good differential.
Yeah, definitely. If especially if you're looking to try and get some cheap guys in to facilitate some moves, for sure, for sure. Um, Brighton Norwich. This will be an interesting one, very interesting one, because Brighton have not been in too good a form. Norwich fighting to survive, me not survive, but they're playing well. Who you have for this one?
Well, for Brighton, I guess Sanchez. Sanchez,
Mm,
you will get him
mm.
save points. 'Cause I think it wouldn't be a cagey game. It should have proper opportunities because Brighton want to win, so they will play attacking because they didn't win a game in a while, and they
Mhm,
will think
mhm.
Norwich is a team they could beat, and Norwich fighting for their life. So, and Norwich playing well as well. So, yeah, I will go on Sanchez for Brighton because I already too trust their attacking options currently.
Yeah. I agree with you on that one. IBK Norwich. Who you looking at? If you had to pick a Norwich asset.
Pookie. I think Pookie's the best asset you can go for from Norwich because he's actually done better in the season than strikers like Lukaku, for example. So yeah, for me it's Pookie. That's it really. Norwich will get relegated, and I don't like picking players from teams that will get relegated. So for me, if you're looking, oh, I can see you've got Pookie on the screen there.
Long time, long time.
Yeah, you stuck with him for a while, but yeah, Pookie. Yeah, Pookie is a good shout. But then, if you look at Brighton, for example, they're on the beach in my opinion because defensively they're poor. So I think that game will be an open game. So I'm predicting for that game to be like open scoring. Both teams will have chances. So I think Pookie will get something out of that game. So I would advise that you start Pookie.
Solid. Big up Dano in the chat. Dano, what's up, bro? Good to see
Hi
you.
Dano.
So, next up we have Burnley City. Now, this one is an interesting one. City going away to Burnley. Again, Burnley fighting for survival. City fighting to keep Liverpool off their back. Right? So, this one is a very interesting one. Do we go Man City midfield assets because we know how tricky it is? Pep roulette. Would he even watch Burnley and take it seriously? Would he play the big boys? It's so much things you have to think about when it comes to Pep. But let's start with Burnley first. Best Burnley asset, and let's not forget Burnley have a double, right? That's key. And Burnley are playing 5 fixtures straight, I believe. So that's another thing to think about too. But we'll
Hmm.
talk about that going on the road. So keep that in mind, guys. If you're someone that want to just have someone locked for the 5 fixtures, I was thinking Pope might be the safest bet to have for Burnley for those next 5. But Aaron, what do you think? Aaron and IBK, what do you think about Burnley assets? Only because you have so much fixtures, that's why we're talking about them. They have 5 games to
I would just go for one player in my opinion. Would you
play.
say, Aaron, that you wouldn't want to like, for example, get 3 players from Burnley?
Mm-mm.
No,
You'd
no,
want Pope.
a short player like Vegas or something.
Exactly. Yeah. You would want to get, Pope, Weghorst, and Roberts or someone
No,
like that.
no.
I would just say if you get Weghorst, that's it. I think a lot of people have Jimenez in their teams and they would want to switch from Jimenez to Weghorst. So I think that should be that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I agree. And I wouldn't go 3 players. You could go maybe 2. You could do the Pope because Pope is a good shout. Because Pope, even if they don't keep a clean sheet, he will make saves now. He's a good keeper. So Pope and Weghorst for sure. And I wouldn't really recommend anybody else. I like McNeil, but he don't really bring in FPL points, even though he on the set pieces as well. So, but Vegas and Pope for sure.
Yeah, solid. And our city assets. Who do we pick? I'm sorry that we don't have our pep wheel to use here, but who do we? Because City is so tricky, IBK and Aaron. It's annoying. And I have finally stopped thinking about city assets. I only Cancelo and Laporte for me. That's all I care about. What about the midfield guys though?
I'll say it's Foden. Foden for me stands out because I was watching Burning Questions with Ted and Praz, and Foden's XGI is the highest out of all the. It's Foden and then Gundogan. So I would say if you're looking for a City midfielder to go for, but because the points are evenly spread over City's midfielders, it's hard
To
to
pick one.
find.
Yeah.
To pick exactly, it's hard to find one. But yeah, what do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I agree. So that's why I think you can't really go wrong with whichever one you pick because Eventually, because if you're picking a City asset, it's not for one game because most likely from now on to the end of the season, you're going to have that City asset. So within the next 3 to 4 game weeks, you will get returns from the asset. So you can't really go wrong with anyone. But I would go Foden, Gundogan, then Kevin, De Bruyne. But you know for sure Bernardo will play all the games. So I would put Bernardo in that hat as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's my opinion on
It's
the
just a Bernardo not returning, but yeah.
yeah,
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
yeah.
A nice tasty one here, Chelsea Brentford. And there's been a bit of a debate over Havertz versus Mount. I think Mount for me, any day, anytime. There's no debate there, but Havertz seems to be getting the nod in terms of starting. But but ignoring my opinion, Chelsea assets and Brentford assets. Who we looking at?
I would say Reece James because I was looking at the from a statistical point of view. When Chilwell and James don't play, the XG of Chelsea drops significantly below the likes of Leicester. So I think the fact that Reece James is back in training is
Yeah.
a massive boost. I'd rather go for Reece James than Havertz because if Chelsea were to keep a clean sheet, James is more likely to get bonus points than Havertz.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually 0.1 away from getting James. But yeah, what do you reckon, Aaron?
Yeah, I would go James as well, but I would also consider Havertz because the form he in and the way they play suit his style of football. So I would if you have the money to go Havertz, I would run in Havertz because Chelsea have decent fixtures coming up as well. And I like to get players that inform. So Mount not really in form compared to Havertz. So if you're looking for a midfielder, I would go Havertz. But James, definitely bring in James, especially as Trent injured. So James is another option you could bring in to replace Trent. No?
Well, I was now going to ask that, Arnie. Brought up a great. I was now going to ask that. So, do you recommend people selling Trent? I am not on that bandwagon. Trent will just go on my bench, and I'll wait till he's back. The first time he got injured, I didn't sell him. I kept him. He was on the bench. So, what do you think? You're recommending selling Trent?
Well, my opinion, I would sell Trent because I find like there's too much money to have on the bench, and I could bring in James to bring in short points.
All right.
But if you have cover for Trent, then you wouldn't need to sell him. But in my
Yeah.
case, I already have cover for Trent,
Right.
so
Fair enough.
I would want to bring in a Cancelo to cover that Trent points, that defender points.
You don't have Cancelo, right?
Yeah, I do have Cancelo currently.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. So, and what about Brentford assets? Who are we looking at?
I try a cheeky one last week with Ericsson, but he didn't play. But Ericsson playing real well.
Yeah.
Real well. And he on all the set pieces. And Brentford, there's a good team in the air because they have Pinnock, Janssen, Tony. So I'm not sure his injury status, but I would, for that course, I would pick Ericsson. But you can't go wrong with Tony as well.
And he played for Denmark and scored or assisted or something like that during the international break. I think he contributed something, you know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he contributed something. All right. You agree with that shout? If IBK, if you had to pick a Brentford asset?
Ivan Tony or Ericsson maybe.
Yeah, but we have to talk about Tony quickly. Tony has been in some decent form recently. Yeah. Not bad shout at all. He has been some really good form. Next up we have Wolves Villa. Now I know this is your team, IBK. Wolves Villa. What do you think? Recently, Wolves have been mixed, a real mixed bag. Leeds coming back and beating them 3-2. They conceded. The defensive wall has been shattered. What do you think though? This is a very interesting game coming up against a Villa with some, on their best day, some decent strikers, but they're not at their best recently in like Ali and Ings and those guys. And they have Coutinho, and they have Ramsey. They have decent guys that are clinical when in good form. What do you think of Wolves' chances before we talk about the assets?
I would say the advantage lies with Aston Villa because if you look at that Wolves team, they've lost Jimenez with that red card and they've lost Ruben Neves with that injury. So they've lost that creativity in that midfield and that dynamism from Ruben Neves. and they've lost Jimenez, who is a very focal point in their attack. So you'd imagine that Villa will have the advantage in terms of Coutinho being able to have a more free role in that midfield and attacking third. So I think Villa are likely to win this game, and it's also a kind of a derby in a way because both teams are from the
Yes.
West Midlands in the UK.
Midlands. Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I think can you win. And Wolves, I think they're slightly on the beach. I don't know if anyone is familiar with that term, but when teams are on the beach, it means they don't really have anything to play for.
Correct.
And if you look at where Wolves are in the league, I don't think they're going to get Europa League this season, and they're not getting relegated. They're safe, and neither is Villa. But because of it's a derby, I think Gerrard would want to win this game. And I think is it Villa that's at home or
no, Wolves at home. Wolves at home.
Sorry, Wolves is at home, so it's going to be a very interesting game. So yeah, I think the advantage is with Villa as well. Yeah.
Just want to big up Osei. Happy shout out Baptist, bro. Back to you. And he said Ericsson scored twice in the international break. So boom, that's cool there. But not all the time international form translates into FPL form. But that's a different topic. Also, that being said, and I became raining on my parade there because I have Cody and Sa and messing up my whole vibes now, IBK. Thanks for that. Who are the Wolves assets that you recommend? Who you think people should look at as Wolf assets? Because you paint a honest picture there. So who are the Wolves assets that we should be looking at? IBK? I'm not sure if we have him. All right, Aaron. I'm not getting into IBK. Audio kind of cut off there. Aaron, Wolves assets.
The Wolves assets. Well, I was gonna answer Sa, but IBK paint us a picture there that little bleak. But yeah, he have valid points. But I would say Villarreal sometime-ish as well.
Exactly.
Wolves will be looking to bounce back, losing to Leeds now, because I think they would not lose to Leeds if they didn't get a red card, because they were playing well.
Yeah,
they were playing well. So, I would say Sa, and I would say one of the wing backs, Johnny real cheap, and Johnny playing because Semedo injured, or you could go Nori as well, because I don't think it will be a high scoring game. And I think Wolves could keep a clean sheet because Villa not really potent in the attack now.
Yeah.
Especially our Wolves. Wolves is a well organized team. No matter they have injuries and whatnot, they will always be well organized. Them getting 3 from Leeds is a one off. That's not going to happen every game week. So if you have Sa, I would play Sa, but I wouldn't go rushing in for assets if you don't have assets already.
Have them already. Yeah. Solid. And Villa assets.
Villa. I guess your Coutinho's, your Matty Cash. That's the kind of players they would have already. So I would the same thing with Wolves. I would go with Villa. Like if you already have those assets, you could play them because you may get returns from them. But I wouldn't really go running them down. Danny Ings looked good when he came on against Arsenal, so you could go Danny Ings, and he should be starting because I think Gerrard like to play with those 2 strikers. So Danny Ings, Coutinho, Matty Cash.
Yeah, and we have to remind people too that I think Villa blanking in 33. So if you have them, keep them until then, and then you could roll them on. Yeah, IBK. Quickly, a Wolf and Aston Villa asset recommendations.
Wolves assets. What are you saying?
Yeah, Wolves assets.
Oh, Villa assets. I'll just say mainly Coutinho and Cash, to be honest.
Right. Boom.
Sorry, my network is quite bad at the moment, but
no problem.
I would if you have any Villa assets, I'll just stick with Cash or Coutinho if you have any of them. So
yeah. And do you recommend I swap Sa for Pope, seeing as in, or let me hold on to my boy Sa? What do you think? Because Sa has been bringing in some good returns recently. Okay, I think we lost them there.
Yeah, we
Uh,
lost it. So,
yeah, right. No problem. No problem. We'll move on one time. So Manu Leicester. This is a nice one. Very well poised. Leicester having some okay form. Manu form very mixed.
that's a
But
mixed.
but I can't even gonna say this. I think from now till the end, Ronaldo might be a bad shout because United don't have that terrible of a fixture run. So let me show that again for you all. I missed that quickly. They play Leicester next, then they play Everton away,
No,
Norwich at home, and then they play Arsenal. Okay, they'll get legs there, no problem. And
correct.
then and then they play Brentford.
Brentford.
So
They can do that
now,
game.
of course, a lot of you all would already have Keane. A lot of you all may already have some
Yeah.
expensive assets in your team. So if obviously maybe Jadon Sancho might be a good shot, but I think Manu assets, attacking assets. So let's observe them for this first game coming here. What do you think, Aaron? I observe them first, and
Yeah.
then because they have some good fixtures, and I think it will be remiss of us to
Yeah.
not dive on those fixtures. But assets for Manu, what do you think?
Well, you say Sancho, you can't go wrong with Sancho because he actually playing real well. He been one
Yeah.
of the best players, to be honest. Um, he's Sancho. Yeah. Well, Ronaldo, yeah, Ronaldo, but he expensive, and like you
Yeah.
rightfully say, plenty people have Kane and Son and Salah or Mane or Trent or all these guys already, so it may be hard. But if you don't have these guys, I would recommend Ronaldo, bringing in Ronaldo. Um, Ilanga is a good shout as well. Ilanga
Mm,
plays very well, and I think
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
starting.
Yeah.
He started the last two games because Rashford not really doing anything off the bench when he come on to earn his right, and the manager playing people who deserve to play. So I would go midfield assets. Sancho, Ilanga. That would be the
Solid. Taking that. IBK, Leicester assets. We have recently seen some decent midfield um performances. Barnes, Madison coming in the play. Anyone from Leicester who you looking at?
Um, I've already got um, I've already got Harvey Barnes in my team. I brought him
Mm,
in game week 30,
mm,
and he did all right. But I'm kind of wary of him because, in terms of his underlying stats, he didn't really impress me when he played Brentford at home.
mm.
So I'm going to start him anyways because United's defense is not one of the strongest in the league. So I've got Barnes at the moment, and I think that's enough because Leicester have doubles coming up anyway, as everyone knows. But yeah, Leicester assets is just Harvey Barnes, and I know he will play as well. His X minutes are really good, so Harvey Barnes for me.
All right, solid. West Ham, Everton. Again, a very interesting one. West Ham mixed form recently, trying to get to that top four. Everton, very difficult to predict. Really don't know how it will swing with them. You never know which Everton will show up. But West Ham assets and Reece and Ben Rama showing some good form in the absence of Bowen. We also Suchek once in a while, but we have no Bowen, so no Bowen, no party. Or who we looking at from West Ham? IBK. Who looking good for West Ham?
To be honest, in my own personal team, I'm not really touching West Ham assets. I think they will mainly concentrate on the Conference
Europa
League.
League. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, my bad. West Ham fans, my bad.
Woo! Don't get cancelled, IBK. Don't get cancelled.
Nah, that was yeah. I said the wrong thing, man. I was doing a Chris Rock, but hopefully, West Ham can finish in a respectable position in the league. But I'm not going for their assets to be honest, because Bowen, I'm not sure what his status is. I've not really heard about whether he's still injured or not. And Antonio, I'm not sure about Antonio to be honest. He's not the same when he started the season.
Correct.
So I'm mainly focusing on teams that really have something to play for.
Yeah. I mean, no, that's not bad. Cheap defensive fodder, I would say. I know vex with you there. Johnson is not
Johnson.
a bad shot. Like a cheap defensive fodder. You know
Yeah.
me? But don't shoot from the upper that I would say. Don't shoot from
Yeah.
right. Oh gosh. So And then what about Everton assets, Aaron? What are we looking at for Everton? Where Everton is a mixed bag right now.
Correct. Well, I do a madness already, and I jump on a little Calvert Lewin. So
All right.
if you want to be brave like me, I would suggest Calvert Lewin. I see the assist last week, and I get wild because
Yeah, you get excited.
of the
Yeah,
game
yeah,
week.
yeah, I understand.
I get wild, and I like Calvert Lewin, boy. And I also
Right. I
like
love
Gordon.
him.
I
Right.
love when he has Gordon on set pieces.
Yeah.
As I like to target players who on set pieces because
Yes.
there's an easy chance creation. So Gordon on set pieces, and he plays well, like his delivery into the box. So, and if Calvert Lewin in form, good deliveries into the box mean goals for Calvert Lewin. So that's the two players I would recommend. I wouldn't really go anybody else. Thinking about it, no, yeah, I wouldn't, because the defensively they're shaky, so I wouldn't advise defensive assets. And Ducore was start scoring in the beginning of the season, but he hasn't really picked up a form.
Yeah.
So I would go risky Calvert Lewin, but sure going because you can't really go wrong. He like 4 point something.
Yeah. Lampard is not the best defensive minded coach
No,
ever. So that's
he's
what's
not the
killing them right now.
best. Nothing to be honest. Defensive,
Lol.
offensive.
Oh,
No
wow.
offense to Frank because he was a big player. No offense to
Yeah.
Frank.
He was a big player. All right. We could but IBK, I know Everton is a tricky one to pick from. I'm not sure if he's there with us. That's a really tricky one to pick from. Moving right along. Why we had to talk about this team, Aaron?
Because
Just
we have to.
saying the name is I
It's
have to
part
take a
of
gravel.
his work. His work.
I have to take a gravel to say this name. Well, of course, wait.
Sometimes in work years how to do things you don't like. It's work.
Facts. Friggin' scubs. So Tottenham Hotspur, right, facing Newcastle. No, I'm saying all that, but I have 3 of them in my team,
Yeah, hypocrite.
right? And they've been doing very well. Massive up the dance. So Spurs new. Before we move on, sorry. Everton are doubling. So
Yes.
it looks like you took that bait, Abba. You took that bait. You tell yourself yes.
That was it. When I see the assist and I know double game me coming, I say yes, Calvert Lewin running. And I had Watkins, so I was like, what's the worst could happen? So I went
Do they
from Watkins to
blank?
Calvert Lewin.
And they don't blank into the 3. So
Nah, they don't.
not bad.
They don't.
Not bad at all. They actually have a good bit of fixtures coming up, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. I see you. Not a bad shout. I mightn't follow you, but it's not a bad shout. Right.
I would suggest following me.
So Spurs, Newcastle. Right now, Spurs are in hot white form right now. They better stay in 5th though. I'm glad for them, but stay in that 5th form. Do not try to get 4th. Stay until we catch Chelsea, then they could fight for 4th with Chelsea. But stay in 5th. But right now, the assets are doing really well. I think this was last game week. IBK was the first match that Kulusevski has not made a return since making his debut, which is damn good for someone new to a league, and we always have to make these excuses for the foreigners coming in. They have to settle and blah blah blah. He has fit in very well, bringing in some decent returns. Son, as usual, on fire. Kane on fire with assists. He is dropping deeper and putting in some. His passing range has always been brilliant, though. Always, he really has always had some. Yeah, boy, my goodness, he's always had some really good passing range.
Quality strike.
So now this is the reason why I am not bringing in Salah, because I'm comfortable with Saka's son Kane. I am comfortable with those guys.
I was going to ask Aaron, do you have Salah in your team, Aaron?
Of course,
yeah.
Do you have Salah?
Yeah.
And Jared, do you have Salah as well?
No, my team is right here. I'm not hiding IBK. This is my team right here, IBK.
Oh, okay, so you have
no Salah.
Your midfield is Fabinho, Ramsey, Saka, Son, Neves. Oh, okay, so you don't have Salah. Okay.
As you can see, I'm in transfer mode. I'm gonna make some transfers soon, but no Salah. No.
So what are you doing instead of getting Salah? What's your transfer process for?
So what I am thinking. Well, obviously get rid of Neves. Now the Trent thing is tempting, but like to get rid of Trent, bring in Reece James, but I really don't want to. I want to keep Trent forever. I'll die on that hill. I'll keep Trent. I may start to get rid of my Villa assets. So get rid of but they have a nice game now. So I'm really thinking just to keep them for Wolves. But in an ideal situation, get rid of Cash, bring in Reece. Because if I get rid of him, I'll have enough money for Reese and get rid of Neves and target a possibly target either maybe a
Leicester.
Burnley, not a Burnley asset, maybe target a Chelsea asset. Maybe I might have enough funds to go for Mount just over the cheaper of Mount and Havertz's. Maybe.
Why not? Why not Leicester? You could go Matters.
Nah, I good. I good. I good.
Alright.
I'm okay missing out on that train. That's fine. I could miss out on that. You can't jump on all the trains, and I'm okay with missing out the Madison train. That's fine. I don't mind missing out on that train. Right. I may -8 and get rid of Fabinho as well and bring in someone more attacking. And I will go but I have to play my three strikers. My three strikers are playing some very brilliant looking appetizing fixtures. The scariest fixture here is Lacazette versus Crystal Palace, because Crystal Palace are dangerous at home. Really solid at home. But Pookie is facing Brighton, food, and Kane facing Newcastle, food. So I'm looking for double hat tricks here this coming game week and an assist from Lacazette. I think that's a fair expectation, the IBK. I don't think I'm being over. I think I'm overdoing it.
Asking you shall receive.
Right. Yeah, so I don't think I'm overdoing it.
That is not a hyperbole at all.
Right? I don't think that I'm overdoing it. I think the FPL gods will say yes, you could grant him his wish. That's
double hat trick.
Right. I don't yeah, Pookie hat trick, Kane hat trick. I think that's a fair request. I don't think I'm asking for much. I know men asking for hat tricks from Salah. Salah not giving it. Again, one goal this weekend. He tired. You'll get one goal. Right? That is overdoing it.
Mentally drained after getting touch up from Mane twice back to back.
Gosh, boy. They already never used to like each other. They're kind of nice now. Oh, gosh, boy. That will cause trouble. That will cause back and now. But Spurs versus Newcastle. Who are the assets? And now before we get into that, now, who are the best? If you already have Salah, if someone has Kane and Son together, would you recommend them trying to disrupt their team to bring in Salah or stick with that? Is Salah a must-have for the last 8 games coming in terms of has his form been convincing enough to you to bring him in for the last 8?
What do you think, Aaron? I want to hear your thoughts on this. This is a good point. This is a good discussion.
His form hasn't been worthy of having to have him in your team for the last 8. But Salah is arguably Liverpool best player, and Liverpool have something to play for. They're not on the beach. So in tough times, when you need goals, Salah is the man. So because they're chasing the league, and Salah, he takes the penalties, I would recommend having Salah. But if you want to go down the Tottenham route, because Tottenham also playing for something, if you're not having Salah, you have to have Son. That would be my opinion. You have to have Son and Kane if you don't have Salah. So you don't necessarily have to have Salah, but I would recommend having Salah because he's very clutch for Liverpool and Liverpool chasing the title. So that would be my opinion on Salah.
So over the next 3 game weeks, if you can look at the FDR fixtures, who do you think scores more points? Do you think it's Kevin De Bruyne, or do you think it's Salah that scores more points over the next 3? So City have they have Brighton,
and then they play
Burnley. Yeah, Burnley, Brighton.
Sorry, Burnley, Brighton, and Liverpool. And then Liverpool, they have Watford, City, and United. So who do you think scores more points, FPL points? Do you think it's Salah or do you think it's Kevin De Bruyne?
Kevin, I would think it's Salah because of this Watford fixture, boy. Liverpool just have a track record against Watford, and Salah normally.
But to be fair, Watford spanked them home. But that was home. That was last season.
Last situation.
Last season.
When Sa touched them up.
Yeah, last season.
Yeah.
That was quite last season, but still, let's not forget.
True. And Roy Hodgson have the ability to make that happen. But going on past experiences, Salah normally get goals against Watford. And Manchester United, not the best defensively. So if I was to pick one out of the 2, I would go Salah getting more points than Kevin.
Yeah, I think I agree with that too. I think Salah will always score De Bruyne. I think so. Only because they have more to push for and play for and grind. I really, really think so.
Yeah. And Kevin not really having the best of seasons, goals and assist wise.
Yeah.
He's still being influential, but he's not having the best of seasons goals and assist wise. So I would pick Salah.
That's interesting because I was actually thinking about this before this show, and I was thinking if I actually want to make if I want to play my own game, you know, all of us have had, or the majority of us to take FPL seriously, we've had Salah from game week 1 up until now, right? And it's only 8 game weeks left. So if I'm chasing, right, and I want to make this my own game, why not go for someone like
Something
KDB?
different. Yeah.
Whilst exactly something different, whilst having Kane and Son.
Yeah.
No, not. I don't think I can afford Kane and Son, but having Kane, having De Bruyne, having Robbo or Trent, I think. And if you look at all the ownership of City players, they're very, very, very low at the moment. So, and if you look at Kevin De Bruyne's home track record, if you just go on his transfer page on the transfer page right now, you look at his home games, he's done really well. And from game week 32 up until game week 34, I believe he has game week 33 to 35. 32 to 34, he has 3 back-to-back home games. And we know that Kevin De Bruyne, he's a big game player. I remember watching that Chelsea City game and he whipped the ball from the edge of the box. He always has that in his locker. And, well, that's just my personal opinion, but I'm willing to risk going for KDB than Salah, in my opinion. I mean, I saw Salah play against Senegal in both of their qualifying matches, and he's played 90 minutes, you know, in those games. So, and if you look at Liverpool's fixture list in April, they play Watford and then they play Benfica, then they play City, I think, and then they play Benfica again. They play City in the FA Cup semi-final again. So, you know, I don't think Salah is going to get rested completely, but his minutes will be reduced. But that's just my opinion. And the fact that that game is an early kickoff as well on Saturday, I don't know, to me, it does not seem like he's going to play the full 90 minutes against Watford, but that's just what I think. And if you look at Salah's record playing Watford, it's not that excellent. You know, he's not in the past, he hasn't scored hat-tricks against Watford. It's usually Mane, Firmino, Jota, these types of players. But let's see how it pans out on Saturday anyway. But I think the Salah versus KDB debate is interesting.
Yeah, that is an interesting debate. Something to think about.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, Aaron. Say that one more time. Just say the last thing you said, yeah?
Something to think about.
And as you say something to think about, breaking news. I don't know if IBK would have got it on his feed as well too. IBK. The London Derby appears to be pushing to game week 36.
36?
Yeah.
Triple captain Saka.
Right? So
Triple captain Saka.
So I just thought I would bring that up because I find that very interesting. And it was posted by Ben Krellin. So right, that's the only reason I posted it. That's the only reason I posted it.
That's official.
Right? Yeah.
Do you know who is at home? Is it Spurs at home or is it Arsenal at home?
It'll have to be Spurs home.
Spurs at home.
Spurs home.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Spurs
Cool.
home. So
Triple captain Saka.
Right. Just say I will bring that up there, guys. Right. 51 seconds ago, posted by Ben Krellin. So let's get back into it.
That'll be a huge game for top. Oh, that game gonna be so spicy. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mad.
Like
And you know how it's the greatest derby in the world after the Milan derby, and you all know how those games go. Real pressure. Real. It's always
spicy.
Form of the window. Form.
Yeah.
What form? Right. So
spicy.
Coming back, so who's the best asset for Spurs versus Newcastle, and the best asset from Newcastle facing Spurs? Who are we looking at?
I would say Kane, Son, Doherty.
Correct.
When I say the name Doherty, I always laugh because I think he was a trap because you know, he looked like Cafu in his prime when he played Everton. But you know, ever since he played Everton, he kind of flopped when he played in the double in 29. I think played against was it Manchester United and another team. I forgot what the team was, but he flopped. And I think you buy Doherty for his attacking returns, not for his
Correct.
clean sheets, right? So Doherty could be a good shout. If you have him, I would keep him because you brought him for these fixtures anyway. So yeah, I'll say Doherty and then
The disrespect,
Kane and Son,
IBK.
and
The
then Kulusevski.
disrespect. This guy is not playing golf here. This guy here does not play golf. The
The thing about
disrespect.
the thing about Regulon is, does he still play when Sessegnon is back?
Sessegnon come back, correct.
Does he still play?
I think he
That's
does.
something.
I want to confidently say yes. I want
Yeah.
to.
Okay.
I would like to. I would like to try to.
Well, then
Right?
that's
I
not good
really
enough. I
do
would
it.
like
I know.
to
I know.
see.
I know. But to be fair, when he came out, as soon as he came out from injury, goal, assist, get on bad. He's been doing okay. He's been doing good. I just love him. I'm sorry, but I'm very with him. He's one of my game week 1 assets. So there's a bit of love there, like a deep love there. Aaron, who we looking at for Newcastle?
I really like my boy Frazier, I'm not gonna lie. He blank last game week, but he been in slight form. So I will go Frazier. I've not seen Maximan and really doing much since he get injured and come back. So normally I say Saint Maximan, but I'll go Frazier.
Solid. So of course, a London derby of sorts. Crystal Palace facing the greatest team in London, in Arsenal. I don't even need to say that. Palace at home, though, I am not in the slightest overconfident at all because Crystal Palace at home, no matter what.
Did you watch the Palace City game, guys?
Yes.
Did you see? Did you see how well the likes of Zaha, Olise,
Yeah.
Guehi, Anderson, Mitchell,
Marshall,
they played so well.
Marshall,
They played
yeah,
so well.
yeah. And against that kind of midfield, that kind of attack, and then
Exactly.
City have defenders that attack as well and bump forward, so they're able to hold all that back confidently as well too, and comfortably as well. Because I never at one point felt like, I mean, yes, there was some chances, but I was not scared for Palace. I really wasn't. So yeah, I am a but Sakadinho,
Bukayo.
Marcelinho,
Our boy.
all these guys, right? Marcelinho, Odegaardinho, right? All these guys, you understand? We have Lacaldo, right? We have all these guys that are ready. The only fear that I have is that Ramsdale is still injured potentially, but Leno is a great
Had a great
deputy.
game though.
Yeah, he's a great deputy. I like Leno. Great deputy, great shot stopper. So hopefully, just the errors. Hopefully he's not forced into any errors. Benteke doesn't do anything cheeky. Zaha, but Zaha loves to score against Arsenal. So let's see what can happen. And Zaha likes to get in the brain of a certain midfielder that we have that doesn't have the best temperament, but we won't go there. But Crystal Palace assets, Aaron. Who are we looking at? Well, now actually, let me give assets to IBK and Aaron. You could talk about Arsenal as Arsenal fan. IBK, Crystal Palace assets.
So I'll just start with the Arsenal.
Sure.
Arsenal players or assets. So I've just been looking at their previous matches, and I would say Arsenal are just above 50% to win because they've played 17 matches and Arsenal have won 9 of them, drawn 6. So it's very likely they either draw or win, Arsenal. So I'd say Saka, if he's fit to play, I've got Saka in my team already, and his ownership is like 27% or something in those parameters. And then you've got Tierney, either Tierney or Ben White. I'm not sure about Tomiyasu being back. Does Tomiyasu come straight into the team?
Nah, he wouldn't come straight in the team. Cedric playing well.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, Cedric, not as an option, but Ben White could be a good option. Lacazette, I think Lacazette is going to score, very likely to score, because whenever Arsenal have played Palace, their forwards get involved all the time in the score sheet in goal or assists. So I'll say Saka, Ben White, and Lacazette. Yeah, because Lacazette has played really well in that Firmino false 9 type of role.
Yep.
And that allows players like Odegaard, Saka to get involved when they're attacking. And Lacazette has done a really good job in being in that role. So I think Lacazette is going to shine in this game.
Solid. And what about the Palace assets?
Palace. Well, you can't really go wrong with the Wilfried,
Yeah,
Gallagher,
yeah,
and yeah, that's about it. I wouldn't
yeah.
recommend defenders because I don't think they're going to keep a clean sheet, and the defenders don't really give attacking output. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go Wilfried, and even though my boy Mateta in form, Mateta
Mm-hmm.
looking real good. So
Mm-hmm.
as a dark horse, I'll put Mateta as well. So yeah, Mateta, Zaha, and Gallagher.
And who's your Arsenal asset? I know you're gonna captain Saka, but who else? Yeah, you
Actually,
recommend?
nah, no captain in Saka. That Palace game too sticky, boy. That Palace game too sticky. Palace
Right,
has good team
we'll
here.
talk about captains after. We'll talk about that after. But
Well, but
who you recommend?
Saka. I will go Martinelli as well because I believe he will play, even though Emil Smith Rowe fit. I don't think he will lose. I don't think Martinelli would lose his position, and Tierney as well. I love Tierney.
Yeah.
Even though Cedric producing more going forward than Tierney, but I would stick with Tierney because Tierney is sure to play, just in case Tomiyasu play over Cedric. So yeah, Tierney, Saka, Martinelli.
And coming on to the end of the fixture list, we have the two doublers playing against each other. Burnley, Everton. So we had already touched on Burnley and Everton. And I think the best asset for the double for me was Pope. And I know well you said it went Calvert Lewin. That's not a bad shout. I mean, always go with a striker, I guess, when you're doubling.
Mm.
Unless there's a solid midfielder, but there's no solid midfielder to go with. Now, what I want to do quickly, I want to shout. I want to so we've been doing this new segment, IBK, where we try to highlight some Twitter accounts that do some threads or that do any kind of I don't know spreadsheet or anything at all. We just try to highlight them, shout them out. So I want to shout out FPL Joe Linton.
Hey.
Right, he did a really good sheet here on like the talismans. Now I won't go through all, but of course I want you guys to head over to his Twitter account. I'll plug it in below. Check him out. This is not the first time we've been featuring him on the channel. He does some really good articles or good threads, as I say. But just to highlight a few the key ones that I know that we could point out really, really quickly. For Arsenal, he said he looked at Saka, Lacazette, and Smith Rowe. So the goal involvement for Saka is 41%, 35% for Laka, and 48% for Smith Rowe. Now we can see that on the eye test. Smith Rowe is very much involved, even if he comes in for 5 minutes, right?
Correct.
Always up there with the best of them. Chelsea, he has Mount James Havertz, right? Looking at them. So 39, 36, and 25 in that order. Unless because they're doubling, I'll talk about them. Burnley, he has Cornell, Lowton, and Westwood. He doesn't even have Weghorst there. So 40, 25, and 24. Everton, he has Gray, Decore, Charlison, Charlison. So 35, 32, and 35 in that order. Of course, we have to talk about Liverpool. So he has Salah, Jota, Mane. 47%, 36%, 26% in that order. Man City, he has Mahrez, Sterling, Silva, 40, 34, 21. Right. So, and of course, last but not least, the guy that I've been talking about a lot, shockingly, on this show today, Ronaldo. So he has Ronaldo Pogba, Bruno Pogba, sorry, and they are at 47, 38, and 44. Right. So, of course, go check out his Twitter page. Give him a like him and shout him out and retweet his retweet the picture, right? Retweet his spreadsheet. I really like it. It was solid and easy to follow. Now, of course, guys, we have to talk about Captain C. We have three guys on the panel, each of one. Let's propose a captain, right? And not the same one that the other person proposed. So, of course, I am going with Son. Captain and Son. I am Captain and Son, and I recommend Son if you have Son. And Aaron, why are you captain in Salah? Even though Salah will not probably score, he might just score one goal. But why are you captain in Salah?
Because Watford, but that track record that Liverpool have against Watford can't go wrong. Can't go wrong.
Solid.
I feel like captain in Salah injuries.
I don't IBK there. I don't know if you're there with us, IBK. What's the I don't know if you have him. Yeah, right. Who's your captain and who you recommend if it's the same?
Well, I'm going to be captaining Kane this week because he's the striker. And you know, when people are saying I'm going to captain a striker because of penalties, well, when was the last time Kane took a penalty? When was the last time a striker took a penalty? But the main reason I'm going for Kane is because of his playmaking abilities. We've
Right.
seen him drop deep
Mm-hmm.
and find Son, and he's very clinical as well, and he's in a rich vein of form. He scored for England as well, so I'm assuming he's going to carry on that form. And
Mm-hmm.
Conte has asked Spurs to look at that top four spot as their trophy this season because they don't have
Mm-hmm.
anything else to play for. So Kane is that talisman in that team. So I'll be captaining Son. I would say, sorry, Kane. But if you have Salah, why not captain Salah and then vice captain someone like Kane who's reliable? So I don't have Salah in my team, but I'm confident that Kane will deliver. So how about you, Aaron? Who are you captaining this week?
Right now the pick is between those two actually, Salah and Kane. But I'm leaning towards Salah just because of that track record that Liverpool have against Watford. But I might change last minute. I'm not sure.
No. What about some other? Who are some other guys that we haven't now spoken about? Who are some other names that we could throw in that hat that we don't necessarily have, but who do you think we should be considering?
Robertson.
Now somebody was selling me Cancelo because he playing Burnley. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a good shout as well.
That's a really good shout. And
IBK, I think I gave you a good idea, no, IBK. IBK, light up there, way.
nah, the thing is, if you look at, I advise people to look at the historical head-to-head meetings between teams to sort of give you the idea of how likely these teams will win or lose or draw. So if you look at the previous meetings between Burnley and City, it's not even close. It's like, I don't know, Rey Mysterio versus The Rock. There's no chance of Rey Mysterio winning because The Rock is so big and has a good chance of winning that wrestling match. So if you look at the head-to-heads, right? City beat Burnley 2-0 early on the season. Before that, they beat Burnley 2-0. The last time Burnley beat City, it's never happened. It barely happened. The last time Burnley beat City was back in 2015, and that was when what's his name? That was when Trippier
Pellegrini.
was still playing for Burnley, which was a long time ago. But
Whoa.
what I'm trying to say is City are going to. There's a big chance that City will beat Burnley, and a clean sheet will be kept. It's highly likely a clean sheet will be kept because in their last 5 games, City have kept a clean sheet, home or away. So Cancelo will get bonus points. So let's add Cancelo to that list because if City get a clean sheet, Cancelo is normally good for bonus. And if you saw that Palace game, we saw Cancelo had 2 big chances or at least one big chance, hit the post. He was really busy down his side. And if Ben Mee is still away for Burnley, it makes City more of a good team to look at for captaincy.
And I'm glad I mentioned that to Cancelo for the last, I want to say, 4 games, because I've watched all the recent City games. And Cancelo has been in some prime positions to score, just not putting in the back of the net, but it will come. Because I'm telling you, some people would have had some mad game weeks if Cancelo had put away some of those goals. Had a game where he should have had a hat trick. Not even kidding. Right? So I think that's a good shout there, for sure, for sure, for sure. What about, I just want to talk about goalkeepers real quickly. What about, who's the top 3 goalkeepers going into this fixture here, this game week 31? And if Aaron want to take that,
Top goalkeepers.
yeah,
That's a very good question. Because normally I would go Ramsdale, but Ramsdale not too sure. I would normally go Sa as well, but they playing Villa. I would still go Sa though, because I don't think Villa go down and slap up Wolves. Because Wolves will have bigger ambition to come back stronger because they lost the lead. So that I think they'll be real good structurally and tactically. So I don't think they'll get slapped up. So I would say Sa, I would say Sa. I would say let me give a shout to Yoris and all. Because Wolves, Spurs play Newcastle. So and they have a decent shape with Conte. So Yoris, Saha Yoris, and you can't go wrong with Edison as well. I guess some of the more high profile keepers will be better for this week. So your Allisons, your Edisons, your Yorises,
The Mendy,
because they
if
play in good
Mendy's there,
fixtures.
yeah,
Yeah, your Mendy's as well, because they
yeah,
play in Brentford. Even though I think Brentford could cause Chelsea upset with the way they just play with high intensity and they're not scared of anybody. So
yeah.
yeah, but those three, yeah.
Big up FPL Island. Well done. Welcome to the show, man. Hey, from Sandoval, we have Aruka and Lego Martin in the house here.
Hey, respect. As
Right,
being
right.
Sando on the weekends because I was at training. Well, in
Right.
Maribela, but I was passed through Sando.
Um, right now we just spoken about we're talking about Pope really. We're looking at I think Pope is the best and well Aaron has Calvert
Yeah,
Lewin
I run even
from
Calvert Lewin
Everton.
and Gordon.
Yeah,
And Gordon.
Calvert Lewin and Gordon. Right. And I'm thinking Pope for me. I might bring in Pope. I might swap Sa and bring in Pope. Um who IBK goalkeepers. Who do you think who's the best goalkeepers going into 31?
31. I would say Ramsdale. Pras FPL, he said that Ramsdale is the best goalkeeper this season. And I think he should play because, I was looking at his Twitter feed and he tweeted a photo of himself in the stands watching the game. So he's not in crutches. He's not had an MRI scan saying he's going to need surgery. When players need surgery, they're going to be out for a long time because they need recovery time to get back into the game. But I think Ramsdale should be back. So I think Ramsdale, maybe Pope, but Pope is quite expensive at 5.4. And Burnley will lose this game. They are going to lose this game.
Yeah.
It's just a question of how many goals they will concede. So Pope for the save points, and he will get maybe 1 or 2 points. I'm just trying to think. Maybe, Mendy could be it. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like calling out players that I wouldn't pick myself. So I would
I know what you
exclude
mean. I know what
Mendy
you
and
mean.
Edison. But yeah, I would say Ramsdale or Pope. I think those are the best options for me. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I'd I would agree with those, but I also said like the more high premium goalkeepers because they are real good game weeks this week. So your Reeses and your Edisons and your Allisons. So
Yeah. That's some solid games. No, I gave you all my plans. What are your transfer plans? Or if you meet them already, Aaron or and IBK, what are your transfer plans for Game Week 31? Or who you looking at? Who's the players on your radar?
31. So I'll just go first if that's okay. So for
Sure, yeah.
31, I was actually discussing this with TT, and I was telling him, I showed him my team, and I was like, actually, I can actually show you guys my team.
Yeah,
if that's all
sure,
right.
sure. We love that. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll show you guys my team so you can see my thought process
Why
for anyone
illustrating?
listening.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm mainly thinking about bringing Reece James into my team. I'm looking to replace him with Matty Cash. So yeah, that's my thought process.
Or you're replacing Trent with no, you're replacing
Sorry,
Cash for right. Yeah,
with James. I'm replacing Cash with James. So I've got 0.9 in the bank. I don't know if you guys can see that, but
Yeah.
so in the bank I have 0.9. Let me just have a look. Yeah, so I've got 0.9 in the bank there. So as you can see, currently my bus team is a 3-4-3, and Cash is on the bench because I've seen Villa play, and he doesn't really offer much upside unless he plays the likes of Leeds or Everton. But yeah, if I replace Cash with James, then I will bring James in for Barnes. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree. So that's my thought process at the moment. So I'll captain Kane and vice captain Weghorst because Weghorst. I'm actually switched the vice captaincy from Weghorst to the star boy. Because
Saka.
I can see Saka doing something against Palace. I can see him
same.
doing something.
Yeah.
we've seen all the time. We we get blinded by the double game weeks. We see a double and then and then our eyes light up and we're like, oh shit, this is a double game week. Oh, let me just go for that double game week player.
I need to have double game week players. I need
that.
it.
So, yeah, I'd just rather, we've seen all the time single game week players have outscored double game week players.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thought process to bring in James, but I'm 0.1 million short. So yeah, hopefully I can afford this week.
So that does that, but you're keeping Trent then. That's what that means. That's what you're saying. Right.
Yeah, if it's confirmed that Trent is out for Watford, if it's actually confirmed. But by the way, what does Klopp confirm? He rarely confirms anything,
Nothing.
No.
Nothing he confirms. Nothing.
So yeah, nothing.
But I think you have good. But you have good coverage there. So in case anything, you have someone to come off the bench. You have good coverage. So I think it should be fine.
Yeah, I've got good coverage. That's the thing. So if I can't afford James, then I'll just bank a transfer because I don't want to force Havertz into my team because Havertz is good. But James is better. James is better. What he offers is better.
Yeah.
So
what about those that are debating the whole Rudiger versus James? What do you think about that? No, forget what you think. What you I know you're saying James. I'm sure Aaron's saying James. I'm torn. I mean, I will go James, but I'm a bit torn because Rudiger to me also provides that attacking return. He runs up like Laporte and Cancelo and gets in the box and takes chances. What do you think? Or either one is good.
Yeah, I do think you could go wrong. My preference would be James, but you can't really go wrong with either one now. So because Rudiger have a chance on set pieces because he's very good in the air.
Yeah,
and he just drive forward and shoot and stuff. So he's a tank. So
yeah,
you can't really go wrong with, like, I wouldn't be upset if somebody choose Rudiger over James. So it's like Robertson and Trent. You can't really go wrong with either one now.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, on your point, Jared. Yeah, Rudiger is fine. He's absolutely fine. Yeah, Rudiger is fine. Yeah. But for me, if James is fit to play, and
I go James.
We saw what Leicester did to Brentford. What more can Chelsea do to Brentford? Castagna, fullback, scored against Brentford. So Chelsea have two fullbacks. Yeah. Maybe it could be Alonso. It could be James. One of them is going to haul, just like Castagna haul. That's the way I see it. So yeah.
Solid. Can't vex with you at all on that. Aaron, who's you guys on your radar? What's your transfer plans?
I'll make my transfers already, so I can share my screen.
Yeah, if you want to. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share my screen one time.
Appreciate that.
Screen.
I have to. I'm probably. So I'm IBK. What kind of FPL manager are you evaluating? Are you a 2 hours before deadline kind of thing, or from Friday? If the game is Saturday, from Friday you already set, or from today or Thursday you already set, or are you a 2 hours before deadline kind of guy?
That's a great question. That's a great question because in game week 29, there was the news about Cancelo, right? And lots of people were going for Doherty, because Doherty, like I said, he was like prime. I don't know, what's another Brazilian right back I can think of? Cafu or Maicon. Yeah, like prime Maicon. Maicon was
Maicon. Yeah.
Like prime Maicon against Everton, right? And everyone's like going. Do you know what? The thing. One tip I'd like to give to anyone watching. I don't think this has been mentioned before, but if there's a player that you want to avoid, on your timeline on Twitter, just mute that player. For example, I muted Doherty's name on my timeline because I was sick of seeing Doherty. I was like, just leave me alone about Doherty, right?
Yeah.
Because I was trying to find news about Cancelo not playing, because there was a choice between bringing in Doherty for Cancelo or sticking with Cancelo. And in the end, I just thought, I'm just going to stick with Cancelo. If he's not fit to play or if he's ill, then that's fine. So it depends on the circumstance. normally, on average, I would have my team set 24 hours before, because I just like to set my team, just leave it and just sit on my hands and just
Yeah. And
watch the
ignore
deadline
everything.
pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
about yourself?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
kind of manager are you in that regard?
I'm a 2 hours before deadline kind of guy. And this game week, the deadline aren't for us because we're in Trinidad, the Caribbean, IBK. The deadline starts at 6 a.m. for us. So I have to be up at 4 a.m. to sort out my team. If I'm But what I do, I make plans, I make notes, jot down stuff. I talk to the guys in the group, talk to you sometimes, I have conversations and then make some notes and I go from there and how I'm planning. I plan in ahead, but making the changes, I wait a little while. But I'm not one of those that jump on the Twitter rumors anymore. I really try to avoid them and just stick with it. If not, I have coverage in the bench and I just go with that, hoping the bench gives me some good cover. That's it. That's what I normally do. Um, Aaron, walk us through what's the game plan?
Well, right. Well, the two transfers I made was Trent to Cancelo, and I also went Ollie Watkins to Calvert-Lewin. So yeah, the plan is to play 4-3-3. I still deciding on whether Kane. Well, it's on Kane right now, but it could also switch to Salah. And yeah, well, I run down the double gimmick as everybody could see.
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
Calvert-Lewin and I have Gordon. Saka is a must. Tierney is a must. I put Ramsdale to start, but I have Salah on the bench.
right. Cover, you're
And
covered. You're covered.
yeah, so I play that back four because I don't think Newcastle going to get anything
Keep a clean
against
sheet. Yeah,
yeah, or like get any returns as well. Because I have Fraser on the bench because I like how Fraser playing and he been starting and playing on the left and creating a lot of chances for Newcastle. So I quicker go with the two Southampton assets that I have, which is Adams, he been in form, and Livermento, or could always get assists. And I'm not really convinced by Leeds. Jesse March have them playing well, but I believe that Southampton could get points, get goals against Leeds, and if they get goals, Adams most likely will be involved. Livermento could possibly be involved as well. So I went along that lines instead of going for Newcastle.
okay.
So yeah, that's about it. I
Uh,
played James.
yeah.
If James don't play, Fraser could come on. Hopefully they do something. But so yeah, that's about that. The thought process.
So
I
Aaron,
was
what's your rank and how many chips have you got left?
I have 2 chips left, and my rank is 69,000.
Oh, wow. Really good, man.
Yeah, man. Blessings,
Nice.
man.
You're having a really good season. You know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. So that's
yeah.
awesome, man. Calvert-Lewin. Talk to me about Calvert-Lewin. What kind of stress pills are you taking, man? Because Jesus Christ, I would need to see a therapist if I had Calvert-Lewin in my team. Fuck you hell. Yeah, talk me through Calvert-Lewin and how are you dealing with it, man?
Well, like I say, when he assessed last week, I was like, he popped up on my radar, and then I saw the double game week. Then I knew that they had a double game week, so I was like, boy. And I had Ollie Watkins. Like, if I had any other striker, I would I wouldn't have running on the Calvert-Lewin, but I had Ollie Watkins now. So I was like, what could go wrong? Like, if something go wrong, the most I will get is 4 points. For the two, I'll get 2 for one game and 2 for the other one. And Ollie Watkins, not really in form, and he is frustrating me. So I said, boy, I done frustrated with Ollie. Why not take a little more frustration with Watkins? But the assist is what lead me to making this decision.
Okay, so you're kind of hoping that, Everton roll up their sleeves and really take on what Lampard has said to his
Yeah,
team.
yeah.
And, the likes of Demarai Gray, he's back. Gordon, he's playing.
Correct.
Richarlison is playing. So I think this international break has come at the right time for Everton. And
Yeah.
they're not on, in my opinion, they are not on the beach because
They're not.
their international players wouldn't have played much international football. So I'm assuming that their team would be on the training ground doing the drills. And
Correct.
Everton are not on the beach. I know that for sure. They would
Correct.
want to survive in the Premier League. And we know that when you get relegated, you lose a lot of money. Lots of revenue gets lost. And I've heard something like Everton have lost a lot of money in the past few seasons or something like that. So they can't afford to get down. So
Yeah.
that could be a good shout. You know, how do you know what his ownership is? How many people own Calvert-Lewin? I
Calvert-Lewin?
think his ownership would be like maybe below
3.3.
10%. Oh
3.3.
wow, that's very
Yeah.
very low.
Yeah. And
So if
and
he does well
that's
in this game week,
correct.
he'll go
Correct. So,
flying.
and that's
flying.
the strategy I've been using this season. I've been going for low TSB players, and it pay off real plenty this because it's the best I've ever done in FPL since I started playing. So I like that the low TSB strategy that I've been using. So, and I trust in my gut ain't really letting me down so far this season. So yeah, I went with Calvert-Lewin.
Solid. So as we winding down, because it is what now? It is 9:44 for IBK, so we will send IBK to bed very soon. Aaron, as you know,
fine.
before we even I can't forget this. Sorry.
Yeah, to make it team.
Yes, the best part of this show. Sorry. I have to. I love to do this. I have to do this part. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah, bro.
Right, I have to do this. I really enjoy doing this, and I think IBK did this with us already as well too. So IBK is no stranger to this segment. So before we go, IBK, let's make our 11 now, real quickly.
I was going to
IBK.
quickly ask. So
Sure.
when you set up this team, do you sort of review it after to see how many points that team got?
Well, yes, and I post it on Twitter, but I always forget to do it in the video, but I do it on Twitter. Yeah, and we do well. We do fairly well.
Yeah, because I'd love to sort of see how that team does. Because I kind of do the same thing. Whenever there's a week that a lot of people free hit, when I have a guest on, I sort of have a free hit draft, and then we sort of count up the points to see how that team did. But yeah, anyway, I'll start with a player, and that player is KDB.
All right.
That's a good shot.
All right. Now you're good with this formation?
4-3-3. Let me do 3-4-3. Yeah.
3-4-3. Goalkeeper.
Yoris.
Okay.
IBK. Next position. Where you wanna go? You don't have to go in order, but where you wanna go?
Is there a? So this is a differential team, isn't it?
Normally, yes. Normally, no. Because I don't like to put the big boys in there because you already have them. If you understand, I don't like to talk about the same players each week. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. Having a channel. Let's talk about the other players that exist. So no Trent, no Salah, no Ronaldo. No, not those. I allow you with KDB because KDB form has not been too hot recently. So that's why I allow
TSB
it.
low.
Yeah, exactly. So I allow you with the KDB. That's fine. But other than that, not the usual suspects. Just not really a difference thing, but a transfer 11, like a players they could consider for the game week 31. And now we think will do good.
Can I go for Mason Mount? Is that okay, or is that too?
That's fine. That's fine. I'll allow it.
Mason Mount. Okay.
I'll allow it. I'm not picking, by the way. Only you and Aaron picking.
Okay.
Tricky.
I've got one, and he's a good
of course.
shout.
Jump in.
Can I jump in? Diaz. Not Diaz, the guy from Liverpool, the new guy. What's his name?
Yeah. That's his name. Diaz. Luis Diaz.
Is it Luis Diaz? Yeah.
Luis Diaz.
Cool. But it's a Z, right?
Pop off.
Yeah, it's a Z, I believe. Yeah, that's a good.
I like that shout.
He could pop off.
Good shout.
Yeah.
I like that Liverpool. I like that Liverpool shout. So I'll go for Mino.
Yeah.
I'll go for Mino. Because Jota played 90 minutes twice, I believe, for Portugal.
Yeah, Macedonia. Yeah.
Yeah. So for Mino, my guy play mini defenders.
Do you want to go for Luke Ayling from Leeds?
Luke Ayling. They playing Southampton, are we? Southampton.
It's at home. They've got Leeds at home.
Yeah, they are Southampton.
I was just joking, but
no, double digit returns, double digit returns.
That's like a good show.
You never know. He could do something.
Just let me see. If
What up? Yeah, what about no, I mean I say I'm not picking, I just I here for the banter and harassing you all. What about you didn't call any Arsenal assets, you didn't call any Tottenham assets, so they're
Is
disrespectful.
Lacazette too obvious?
No, that's fine. That's fine. We
Pedro
put
Laka.
Laka.
Yeah, I think Lacazette will have an attack and return.
Yeah.
Highly predict that.
But let's cap off the strikers now. One more striker.
I want to say Calvert Lewin, but
All right, no problem.
Yeah, let's go for
Oh, he's a
Calvert-Lewin.
double gamer. Yeah, put a double gaming player.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
that's
go
fine.
for it. Yeah.
One more midfielder.
one more midfielder.
Is
We
Sancho
have
too
a City,
obvious?
we have a Chelsea. Yeah, Jota a bit obvious.
Yeah.
And we already have Luis Diaz too.
Yeah. We're
Yeah.
doing a double.
It have no Spurs.
No.
You want to go
Kulu?
Kulusevski?
Yeah, Kulu.
Okay,
Kulu,
Kulusevski.
because I really don't know how to spell that. If we get me
Yeah.
to spell it, no problem.
Yeah.
And three defenders. You're blank. Those are the
I'm
defenders.
struggling with the defenders, to be honest, because Brighton have a good fixture.
Yeah, true.
I'm not sure about Cucurella's ownership, to be honest.
Cucurella ownership should be low.
Yeah.
I'm not too sold on Cucurella.
Yeah,
I know that's your boy Aaron, but
he is, but I'm not really sold on Brighton defense.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on Brighton defense either, so yeah, we can skip their
What
defense.
about your boys your boy Livermento, Kyle Walker Peters?
I was going on to Livermento because that leads defense shaky now, boy. That leads defense shaky. So I think Livermento could do something.
Yeah. And we can go for a Spurs defender like Romero or Eric Dyer, someone like that. Because they're massive threats from set pieces.
Yeah.
And
like
Romero plays well at home.
I like that.
But to be fair, we already have Lloris, but I don't know.
True, yeah, that's
yeah, that's fine. You could double up on the defense there, but that's fine.
We could change out Lloris though.
And put who?
You could put Ramsdale. But then Ramsdale.
If it, yeah.
You could put Ramsdale instead of Lloris.
And we still have Daka. Oh, that's all right.
Who?
We still have Lacazette up top.
Oh, well, yeah. We just try not to double up in the defense with the same.
Fair enough.
Yeah. What about Castagna against Manchester United?
Could be a good shout, yeah.
Yeah, I like that show actually. That's an interesting show. All right, so let me call it out quickly. Our transfer 11. And if we
can I swap?
Swap.
I want to swap. Oh no, it's fine. I was gonna swap Lacazette for Ronaldo, but nah. It's like Ronaldo is too obvious.
Yeah, he kind of is. Even though his TSB not that high anymore, to be honest.
But he's a good shout. As I say, I've never spoken about this man so much on one episode. I already know this.
Positively. You have spoken about him.
Wow. IBK, I don't understand the slander, boy. Slander. IBK, wow.
You have spoken about him this much, but never in this light, never in this manner.
Wow. But Ronaldo, I'm just saying. I'm just saying
that you calling him by his name, all kind of thing. Normally, you refer to the man as the athlete, all kind of thing.
Wow. I don't know what he's talking about, IBK. I don't know what. Good thing I don't have any videos of me.
No evidence.
No, but all kicks aside, though, I genuinely just have a vibe. Man, you attacking assets, the right ones, for the next few game weeks. I'm just saying, good show. I'm not mashing up my team to bring in anybody too high price. I love how my team is just to fix a few things. But yeah. So let me just call out our team really quickly there before we sign off. So Ramsdale in the back, if fit. And I guess as a sub, you say Lloris in case, right? Or not Lloris. If not Lloris, maybe Sanchez. Sanchez might be a decent case. So Ramsdale, Romero, Castagna, Livermento to fill up the back there. Mount, Kulusevski, Diaz, KDB in the mids. Lacazette, Firmino, DCL up top. So we'll try and keep track of how these players do. I want to first and foremost thank my awesome mate and co-host coming onto the show today for us and special guest IBK of the FPL Sandwich Podcast. Plug
I was gonna
yourself
just
there,
say,
IBK.
sorry,
Plug yourself.
yeah,
Plug yourself.
no, there's no need to plug myself. The only plug I have is the sockets there and charging up the house. But yeah, I was gonna ask you guys what's your chip strategy? So I've got 2 free hits left, and I'm trying to free hit in 33 and 36. But what's your chip strategy for the rest of the season?
Aaron, you want to take that one, Aaron, first? Then I'll jump
Yeah,
in.
what's your chip strategy?
Well, I waiting for the rest of the double game mix to use my bench boost and my triple captain because I already used my 2 free hits. I used one in 30 and I used one 20 something. Can't remember when I used the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I waiting. So like when I say I got triple captain Saka 36, I really might do that. I honestly really might do that. And well, 33 I might bench boost.
Okay.
I'm not sure yet because it should have more double game mix between 33 and 36.
But why not bench boost in 36 instead? Because 36 is the biggest double game week of the season, isn't it? So you want to really maximize that bench that you have in that game week. And I think if a bench boost 36 outscores a bench boost 33, in my opinion. So that might be something for you to maybe think about. But yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
And I'll have more time to bring in more double game week players for 36 because I don't have any more free hits. And I don't have more wild card. So I might have enough players that actually playing in 33 to utilize my bench boost. So yeah, I had to think about that. I ain't really think about that. So yeah, that opened my mind. So I'll think about that.
What about you, Jared?
I have 3 chips left. I have 2 free hits and a wild card. So I
was hearing you talking about this with Dan. I think you said that you wanted to wild card in 32 or something like that.
No. I might wild card in 38. I have to use a chip in 38. That's my plan.
Wait.
I have 3 chips, so I'm saving a chip.
You're basically using a wild card as a free hit, kind of, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm using a wild card in the last game week. Whatever happens, don't care what. Have to. And then I will free hit in 33. Now you can't back-to-back free hit, as you guys know. So I'll free hit in 33 and maybe skip 34, 35, and maybe 36 might free hit because 36 is a nice, as you say, beautiful time to. So I might free hit in 36. Or swap wildcard in 36, free hit in 38. That's the plan. So far. That's the chip strategy there. And of course, I'll rewatch the episode I did with Dan and confirm a plan, then go. Right? I'll rewatch the episode with Dan Bennett to make sure, yes, this is what I want to do. But so far, that's the plan.
It's so useful to talk to people like Aaron and Dan because their ranks are so high, and it gives you something to learn from, to have someone so high up in that rank to learn from and to ask for their advice and to see what perspective they're coming from. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna watch that episode again. I'm gonna watch this back again to see what Aaron has advised.
Boom. Yeah, man.
If Calvin Lewin does well, I'm gonna shout out Aaron.
Yeah, you have to shout him out. He's on Twitter. Shout him out. So IBK, let the people know where they can find you, please. Let them know about your amazing channel, the work that you're doing. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Oh, thanks. I wouldn't say my channel is I wouldn't say FPL Sandwich is amazing. I just prefer to keep working and try and improve, what we do on our channel. But if you want to check us out, it's FPL Sandwich, and my Twitter handle is at __IBK. That's it, really. Yeah. Don't follow me.
We could catch him in a lot of spaces, Twitter spaces. Right now that the season has resumed, there'll be a lot of spaces. Of course, you have to shout out guys like Dano, guys like FPL Veteran, those guys. You have to shout Chance, right? You have to shout all the space lords, right? Hopefully, Ducky soon will be back into the space forum again. Before we jump off, though, IBK, as you have you talking, you know the usual thing. A piece of advice, solid piece of advice for 31 something, anything.
I would say play your own game. Do not be a sheep. You've got a brain for a reason. Use it, okay?
Big up.
do not just because FPL Twitter is saying go for a certain player does not mean you need to go for that certain player. Play your own game. Plan ahead. Do not copy other people for the sake of copying other people. If you see there's an opportunity to go for a certain player, go for it. Do not think twice. If you think, for example, and I spoke about this before, if you're making a 50-50 call on, let's say you want to go for Havertz or Mount, or let's say Digne or Cash. Let's say you want to go for Digne because of A, B, and C, but then FPL Twitter keep saying, oh, go for Cash, not Digne. And then, Cash does well and Digne fails. Well, then you have to own your decision and be comfortable. I think a lot of people, they don't use their brains. They just say, just because someone says, "Oh, Weghorst, you should triple captain Weghorst." Oh, I'll triple captain Weghorst as well. Someone says, "Oh, climb up top of your roof and fall off." Oh, gravity will hold you up, and then you go up and do the same thing, right? It doesn't make sense. So, my point is, think for yourself. Play your own game. FPL is meant to be fun. When you copy other people, that takes the fun out of it in a way. So, for example, I haven't got Salah in my team, which is fine, and I'm thinking about going for De Bruyne. That's me playing my own game.
Yes,
because I don't see a lot of people doing that. So it's okay for your opinion to be unpopular. That's what I would say.
Correct.
And to piggyback on that really quickly, don't make as IBK rightfully said, not just following people, but you have to look at your own team. Are you willing to mash up your team because of someone's made a different statement? Make the transfers suited to your team. Do not destroy your team. Don't destroy what's working. And if it does not work out, do just say, right, no problem. Do I keep this player? Do I be patient? Watch the game over, watch his stats, and see if the player was worth being patient with. He didn't pop off in this game, but maybe the next game. There are many games to go, and no player has a divine right to perform in any single game. Right? So keep that in mind. Aaron, solid piece of advice.
Well, the same thing from me as always. Trust your gut, and I would always from this game week going forward, I think you should trust form more than fixtures, because a lot of people decide on the team whether form or fixtures, but coming out to the nitty gritty in the season, thinking as a footballer, there's the time where you're not really studying no fixtures because it have no more easy games. It's thinking about form now, so you're trying to get players who inform and who, IBK was saying, who not on the beach. So try to run after players that playing for something. So your Arsenal's, your Spurs, your even Everton, your Newcastle, because they're not safe as yet. Your Liverpool, your Manchester City. So Chelsea are not, because Chelsea not sure to get top four. So everybody playing for something. So target those players. That would be my advice.
Each game for the likes of an Arsenal or Twitter, I'm sorry, Arsenal or Spurs or Everton, and those next 8 games are 8 finals.
Correct.
Those are 8 finals.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
You have to look, and that is why I pick the kind of players I pick sometimes. Not because I'm mad, it's because these guys are gonna fight tooth and nail to the 95th, 98th minute, right? So of course, my solid piece of advice, guys, click that and save button. Don't forget to save. Please don't forget to save. Shake off the rust of the 2-week break. Don't drink an FPL. Of course, like, share, and subscribe. The FPL Sandwich Podcast, and of course, us at the Fantasy Pavilion. Don't forget, we have great content lined up for you all. We had 2 international break specials. We did one with Net That Hall. We did one with Dan Bennett. Just today, we had our F1 fantasy show. It was great. We had a nice panel, a very knowledgeable guest. It was a really, really good show, right? Where we reviewed Jeddah. And so, of course, anytime we're talking F1 fantasy or F1 on a whole, there's always some controversy, some banter. It was a really nice segment, something that we're going to keep going on for the rest of the show. Tomorrow, we'll have our IPL fantasy show, trying to review and get on with some points. It's been a struggle for me, but we'll talk about it and have a laugh at my expense. I again want to thank my lovely guests, IBK and Aaron. Guys, we are out. Happy picking for game week 31. And be safe out there.